Switzerland rises within narrow limits. Stone lifts the land upward, while water holds it open below. Movement follows valleys. Light settles where the terrain allows it. Silence is not empty here. It fills the spaces between ridges, lakes, and settlements. The landscape sets the pace. Structures adapt. Time leaves marks slowly. This journey moves across height and depth, across surfaces shaped by pressure, flow, and restraint. Nothing here spreads freely. Everything occupies a position. What follows is an observation of how space is held. The Alps. The Alpine arc stretches for 1,200 kilometers across Europe. Here, the collision of continents has raised the seabed into the sky. Layers of sediment stack without visible separation. Horizontal movement weakens. The eye is forced upward. Distance begins to register vertically. Bernese Alps. Peaks arrive in close succession, forming a continuous wall. Valleys compress between stone and shadow. Light breaks only at specific angles. From a distance, depth disappears. Scale reveals itself through overlap and contrast. The terrain holds its mass quietly. Nothing advances here. Everything stands. Matterhorn. The peak isolates itself above the surrounding range. Four faces meet in a narrow point. The surface resists alignment with nearby forms. Space pulls away on all sides. There is no gradual transition. It stands alone against the sky. Comparison loses relevance quickly. The mountain remains fixed. Eiger. The north face drops directly into the valley below. Shadow holds the surface for most of the day. The vertical line offers no interruption. Movement hesitates near the edge. The wall accepts no pause. Stone dominates the frame. The drop continues without compromise. Jungfrau. Wide slopes extend across a high plateau. Wind leaves texture across permanent snow. Light moves slowly over the surface. At the saddle, a structure occupies a fixed point. It does not interrupt the scale. The horizon remains uninterrupted. Ice defines the boundary. Aletsch Glacier. A river of ice stretches through the valley. Deep crevasses reveal shifts beneath the surface. Movement continues without urgency. The glacier advances by centimeters. Time becomes visible through structure. The ice holds its course. The valley accepts the flow. Lauterbrunnen. Vertical limestone walls rise from the valley floor. Water descends from hanging edges above. The trough leaves no room for detours. Openings appear only where water exits. Direction becomes unavoidable. The valley contains all movement. Grindelwald. Slopes converge beneath surrounding peaks. The floor widens briefly before narrowing again. Moraines leave rolling forms behind. Paths follow the lowest resistance. The landscape draws the eye inward. Motion aligns with gravity. Val Bavona. Large boulders dominate the valley floor. Flat ground appears only between fragments. Structures settle into leftover space. The valley remains unlit at night. Movement adapts to obstruction. Survival follows the stone. Creux du Van. The land withdraws into a curved wall. The edge forms a complete arc. There is no clear entry. Orientation breaks at the rim. The ground drops inward. The form holds its silence. Ahre Gorge. The river cuts a narrow passage through rock. Walls rise close on both sides. Light narrows as the channel tightens. Movement slows deliberately. Water continues forward. Stone remains fixed. Lake Geneva. The water opens a wide boundary. Cities trace its curve from a distance. The center stays unused. Movement avoids contact. The surface holds silence. It behaves like open space. Lake Thun. Mountains plunge directly into deep water. Settlements remain on narrow edges. Distance reads cleanly across the surface. Wind follows the length of the lake. The corridor stays open. Water defines the axis. Lake Brians. Turquoise water absorbs light quickly. Mountains lean inward. Shadow narrows the frame. Crossing requires intention. The surface remains calm. Depth stays unseen. Lake Oceanen. The lake rests within a high basin. Cold water holds its clarity. The shoreline resists expansion. Walls trap the surface. Access remains singular. Stillness fills the bowl. Rhine falls. Water gathers into a single drop. Mist rises continuously. Lateral space collapses. Everything moves downward. Sound overtakes visibility. The fall repeats without pause. Giesbach falls. Water descends in stepped layers. Pools briefly interrupt the fall. Sound changes with each tier. The forest absorbs the motion. The flow continues. It merges quietly below. Lavo. Vineyard terraces descend toward the lake in long horizontal bands. Stone walls hold the slopes in measured steps. Rows follow the contour, never the shortest path. Light reflects upward from the water below. Movement slows between levels. The land remains divided, held in place by hand and time. Zermatt. The village occupies the end of the valley. Expansion meets vertical limits. Density replaces spread. Structures darken with time. Movement slows early. The settlement holds its position. Murren. The village clings to a narrow ledge. Buildings align along the edge. Access remains indirect. Every window faces open air. Living means looking downward. The cliff decides orientation. Wengen. The village rests on a sunlit terrace. Arrival follows a single ascent. Departure mirrors entry. Choices remain limited. Movement stays controlled. The terrain sets the rules. Gimmelwald. Farmhouses scatter across steep ground. Paths follow existing contours. Spacing remains intentional. Organization stays informal. The land dictates arrangement. Nothing expands freely. More côté. Structures descend toward the lake. Steps replace roads. Levels stack downward. Circulation stays vertical. Space yields slowly. Movement follows elevation. Soglio. The village faces outward from a terrace. Granite peaks fill the view. Rear movement stays constrained. Light shifts across stone. The settlement observes. Nothing interrupts the frame. Landwasser Viaduct. Stone arches rise from the forest and curve into open air. Six limestone spans carry the line 65 meters above the valley floor. The structure stretches just over 130 meters, held by its own weight. A red train enters without slowing. For a brief moment, it hangs between trees and cliff. Then, the track disappears directly into the rock face. The bridge remains fixed. The valley continues below. Jungfrau Joch. Tracks disappear into the mountain. The route stays hidden. Direction adjusts only when required. Stone grants passage selectively. Progress remains internal. The mountain closes behind it. Lake sills. The lake stretches quietly across a high plain. Mountains remain distant, evenly spaced. Light reflects cleanly from the surface. Wind travels uninterrupted. Movement stays horizontal. Stillness dominates the frame. Verzaska River. Clear water moves over pale stone. The riverbed remains visible through depth. Flow follows sharp bends and narrow channels. Motion accelerates, then slows. The surface breaks briefly. The current continues downstream. Switzerland does not conclude itself easily. The terrain continues beyond each frame. Paths extend where permission exists. What remains unseen holds equal weight. Light will shift again. Water will continue its course. Stone will stay. The journey pauses here. The land does not.